Hi guys, on this video I will be showing you guys how I did this really pretty teal and Tiffany blue nail set. So the first thing I'm showing you is just I already applied nail tips on my practice hand, and I put the nail tips that come with the practice hand, and then I put nail tips on top of that and I filed and shaped them. So if you want to know a review about this mannequin hand, I'll link it down below on a video I made previously. And then I will be using clear Young Nails acrylic, which is one of my favorites. And I will also be using Glam and Glits in the color Platium Pearl. I will also be using Cuccio Pearl powder in deep silver glitter. And I will use a glitter acrylic that I made white with holographic very thin glitter. And I will be using Perfect White from Absolute OPI. I will also be using another glitter mix that I made. And if you want to see a video on how I make my own glitter mixes and color acrylic, I will link that below as well. And then I will be using Glam and Glits in Obsessive Compulsive, but this one is like a Tiffany blue color. And I love Glam and Glits acrylics. I have a review of and swatches of their product. It is very, very pigmented, extremely. You can divide it in half and add glitter or other stuff to it, and even clear acrylic and make it last. Like, it's very pigmented. And I do R&D because I use it for regular acrylic with the brush and monomer, and I also use it for dip. And I have a video of me using regular acrylic for dip down below as well. And this is just a stencil that I use for nails. I have a video of this as well below that I will be using. And my favorite monomer, which is Young Nails, that I will be using. And I will be using the Alpha brush that I love for acrylic nails. And it is in a size 9. So the way that I pour the monomer in the damping dish is I put it on the silver part of the brush, and it just goes straight into the little damping dish. That way you don't spill or make any messes, and you just make sure you really clean your brush before you start using it on your products. And the reason why I'm using 2 damping dishes is because I always like to have one of them for when I encapsulate or when I need it for really transparent colors, and the other one is just for the glitters and the deeper colors. You don't have to do this. If you really clean your brush, you'll be fine. It's just sometimes I just work so fast that I don't have the time to sit there and really clean my brush. And I will be using the Protein Bond from Young Nails to adhere the acrylic, which is the only primer I use for acrylic nails. So I start off with Platium Pearl, which is a little bit more of a mixed glitter. It's a fine silver holographic as well as chunkier glitters. And I use this one because it's a little bit easier to spread than the deep silver from Cuccio. That one is like a topper. So after you apply the Platium Pearl, which is a thinner, finer glitter, you always want to have like a base. Then I go and apply the thicker, more chunky glitter, which is the deep silver glitter from Cuccio, because that just adds the pop to the nails. And I bring it up. You can bring it up as much as you want to do the little blend. I just wanted just a little bit of the tip of the nail to be white, just a little bit of it. I wanted it to be mostly blinged out. So it's really up to your client and up to yourself how far you want to go up and when do you want to stop the blending. And you just make sure you work fast because acrylic sets fast, especially with the weather temperature change. I moved from Chicago to a lot hotter state, and it was just setting up super fast. So I'm just trying to work with it. And then I grabbed the white from OPI, the Perfect White, and I put it just on the tip. And it's very little you need. I just need this for the base because the off-white that I used of the glitter that I made with the holographic little glitter, the mica glitter, it was too transparent, so you wouldn't see it as nice of a pop, and I wanted the white to pop as well. So I just used this as a base, very thin. I want to make sure you blend it down. Even if you go over the glitter, it's totally fine. It'll look like a milky nail. So it's milk bath or whatever it's called. So it's totally fine. Just blend it down. And now I'm using that off-white that you see right now that has very, very tiny glitter particles, and I bring that down. Once I am happy with that look, excuse me, I will go back into the glitter and I would add just a tiny bit just to overlap it just a bit, nothing too crazy as you see. And I just bring up a few pieces of the glitter up just to give it a nice little fade, nothing crazy. But like I said, it's up to you how far up you want to go with this. And you could even leave it clear if you do clear nail tips and just do a fade into clear nails. That's totally fine as well. But since I had natural nail tips, I couldn't do clear, so I felt a nice would look really pretty with this set. And here I just put a nice bead of white acrylic and I just shape it as much as I can with the brush. And then I'm gonna let that dry because this one's gonna be the nail that has the cutout. So that means I'm gonna be using an X-Acto blade, which is what I use to cut it out. And I'm also gonna try the stencil again. It's not really my favorites because they don't really cut very sharp. So they don't do the lines really sharp, and when I do and use the X-Acto blade, it just works amazing. And here's where I'm going with the Obsessive Compulsive blue, which is that Tiffany blue I was telling you guys about. And I'm just doing an entire nail with that. So I'm just working very slow with it, bringing it down, making sure that I don't get nothing on those sidewalls. And when you do a whole nail, or even when you put any acrylic by the cuticle area and want to bring it down, you want to make sure you work with the client's nail or the mannequin nail facing downwards, because that way if it's runny, it'll run downwards and you don't have a big blob go into the cuticle area or spread in there or on the sidewalls. It'll go straight down and it'll help. So as you see, I put it on and I'm holding it downwards and I'm just patting it very gently. When it's really wet, you want to make sure you are very gentle, or else you'll leave dents in the acrylic, and that's when you start having a ton of dents and bumps and imperfections. So as soon as it starts kind of matting down, that's when you want to really bring it down and put pressure on the acrylic. I also checked my sides and I checked the free edge, so I was missing a little bit. I just put a little bit on there and I just brush it backwards. I make sure the sidewalls are nice and clean, just less for me to file, as well as the free edge. And I let that one dry before I encapsulate it. Now I go back to the pinky, which is the glitter fade into the white acrylic, and I will be encapsulating that, which means I will be using clear acrylic and I will be bringing it down. As you can tell, this acrylic was drying super fast, and I mean, young nails usually is amazing. It gives you time, but not like a whole minute, but it's easy to work with. And for some reason today, I had the door open, I had the fan going on, so I think it was just the heat that was not helping me. But it's okay, it's a practice hand, it's not a big deal. I can work with it, I can take the time to file, and I just started working a lot faster. And then now I go back into the ring finger, and now that it's dry, I can file it like a nice sharp line. That way it's easier for me, but I could have just grabbed the X-Acto blade, which is the one I'm gonna be showing you soon, and cut it right before it fully dries. So that way I don't have that much filing to do. So a good way for you guys to know when you can use the X-Acto blade or any cutout acrylic plastic board thingies is when it starts mattifying. So it's wet, as you see, and once you start seeing it mattify just a tiny bit, that's when you know it's ready to be cut out. So you can keep moving on. You don't want to apply the acrylic on the nail and then go right on and cut it, because it's gonna be too gummy, too runny, and it's not gonna leave nice sharp lines, and it's just a pain to deal with. So I always have to come back to this nail and I work with other nails. So I'm waiting here, I'm like, okay, come on. So it can be a little bit more jelly-like, so then I can cut into it, or else it's gonna be a lot harder for me to do this. And even so, it's a little runny still, but I'm just going really carefully, taking my time so that I can have a nice sharp line. And now that that one is drying, I'm working back on my Tiffany blue nail, and I am encapsulating this nail, which is I'm pretty sure it's not the index finger, it's the middle finger, yes. And I am going to encapsulate this one. And anytime that you see you're missing dents or gaps, that's when you can use the clear acrylic and build a nice apex and all that. And I just sharpen up the line here. I did the filing, and since this one is a glitter, this teal blue is a glitter, I want to add a little layer of clear before I file the entire nail, because I don't want that glitter to start chipping off. When you file off glitter that's not meant to be filed on before encapsulating it, it gets messy. It gets chunky, glitter flies everywhere, it's just a pain. So always encapsulate it. It does take a lot of time to do these type of nails, but the end result is so nice and really amazing. So this is where I'm using the Tiffany blue color now, and I'm honestly just going with it. I didn't have any design plan. I was just, oh, this looks nice, well, this color looks nice this way, and I just kept going until I realized what I wanted to do. And here is where I use the brush to clean as much as I possibly can, and then you can also use the blade right after this. That way, like I said, it saves you time on filing. And here's where I used that little plastic acrylic, whatever you want to call this. I made a review of these. They're okay. I mean, they say it saves you time, but if you don't do it just in the right time to cut out the acrylic, you will not get a very sharp line. So it's a little pain to be waiting and sitting, and if if you're busy and you're taking care of a client and you chit chat or you do something, it's gonna dry up and that's it. It's the pain in the butt to remove. So I love the X-Acto blade because it gives you more time to be able to cut it, and you just have to make sure when you do buy it and it's new that you what is the word I'm thinking of? That you dull it down, because this stuff cuts. This will cut you and will cut whoever if you don't dull this down. So just dull it down, that way it is not sharp, but it's sharp enough to cut the acrylic. And now on my index finger, I am just doing a marble effect. Now I'm not the greatest with marble, but you know what? I just went for it. I wanted to do these nails as glam and out there as possible. So I just grabbed a mixture of the teal, the glitter teal, the Tiffany blue, the white, and towards the end I start adding hints and bits of the holographic silver glitter of both of the acrylic glitters. And when you do marble nails, you want to grab very, very little at a time, and you want to start flattening it out, because if not, you'll have a bulgy, crazy nail, and it's a pain to file that off. And then what's the point, because you're going to file most of the cool marbling off. So you want to work with very little amounts, and sometimes the colors will blend in too much. That's when you only need like very tiny dots of the other darker color to pop it out. I mean, it just takes practice, like I said. The only way you'll get better or learn is just by trying. So these are not my favorites, I would say, to do, because I don't think I'm that good at them, but that's not gonna stop me. I'm just gonna keep trying until they become amazing. Okay, and now I decided to add some white, and like I said, with the colors, I just went with it. I felt like we needed some white here, because when it comes to colors like white and black and really neon colors and very dark colors, when you do cut out nails like this, they just pop more, because you see the lines more, you see the division of, you know, where you started, what you did next, and those are the best colors to use. When you use like pastels or very light glitters or very light colors, those don't give that much of a sharp line. So since the blue is a little bit lighter and it wouldn't give that sharp of a line, I decided to put the white next. That the marble is dry, I will be encapsulating it. I will be grabbing clear acrylic, and like I said, with marbles or any type of nails that you have to end up adding different types of acrylic, like even rays and stuff like that, sometimes they can come out very chunky, or even any encapsulated 3D art. So you want to keep turning the nail to see it on all different angles to make sure that you get a nice smooth apex and you're not sitting there filing forever as well. And now I am able to file down the white on the ring finger, and yeah, like I said, these take time, but they come out amazing. And I file downwards to take off any extra bulkiness in the nail plate because I don't want to add bulk to it. It's already bulky, and it's gonna be getting bulky if I don't work in thin layers. But then you don't want to work in too thin layers when you're doing these cutout nails because you won't see that division. It'll blend in, it'll be too flat. So you want to give some sort of bulk, but I don't know, it's just complicated to explain. But you just want to file and keep clean, work slow, take your time. That's just the way to do it. And I mean, I would recommend if you're doing this on yourself or on a client to do this on one finger only, and then do different colors or another color on some other hands. Make this one the accent nail, make it pop, and charge extra definitely for this because this is work. This takes time and takes effort. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of clients that did their nails too out there and too crazy. They were most like, even most of them wouldn't want crystals on their nails because, you know, their lifestyle and what they worked on and all that. So it's nice to be able to experiment with the mannequin hand, or have those favorite clients that come in and are like, whatever you want to do, and you're just like, yes, I'm gonna go crazy. So now I did the glitters. I did the hollow deep silver glitter, and I also did the Platium pearl from Glam and Glits. And I just added the thinner one first, and then did the other one, the thicker one, the Cuccio one. And then as soon as it's almost dry, I apply the clear acrylic on top and on the sides because I will be filing this, and I want to make sure that I don't remove big chunky layers of acrylic. Now what I'm doing, I'm tapping the acrylic because I want to make sure before I file it that it is fully dry. If you do not wait until it is fully dry, you will remove chunks of acrylic because it will be gummy and runny. So always use the back of a pen, the back of your brush, and hit it. And if it clicks, literally clicks, then you're good to go and you can move on and you can file as hard as you want. If you don't, trust me, you will be missing chunks of it and it's gonna be gummy and it's a pain. So just wait it out. Now I'm gonna be using the Tiffany blue here. And I was trying to see if I should use the little plastic cutout, but I just it doesn't give sharp enough lines in my own personal opinion. I have them there, so I mean, I think I just really have to mess around with the timing of it, and maybe with different brands of acrylics to see maybe if with one brand it works better than others. But as of right now, I just felt like the X-Acto blade was just gonna do enough, so I can use that. And as you've seen right now, I also cleaned the glitter from the blue because some of the color that you're doing at the moment can blend into the previous color you did. And if you don't clean that off before you encapsulate the nail, that color will stay underneath as a cover, as a little, how do I explain it? As a little shade on top. And then when you apply the acrylic, the glitter is not gonna be shiny. It's gonna be dulled and like gray and have a hint of blue because of the previous color. So it's a lot you have to do when you do these type of nails, but you know what, it's worth it. So just keep cleaning, use your brush to clean, use your X-Acto blade to clean it as well, or anything else that works for you, honestly. Whatever works, that makes it happen. And then I added the blue, and I was gonna do a straight line. As you can see, my brush was about to do a straight line, and then I stopped myself, and I was like, wait, I should do a diamond shape right here. I was like, yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I went for more glitter to make sure I can bring it down a little bit more, and I did a diamond shape. So like I said, sometimes things just come out of your head and you just go with it. So that's exactly what I did here. I'm just cleaning it up while I can, use my brush to clean it up. And then I also want to make sure I clean up by the Tiffany blue color to make sure none of that glitter is on top of that Tiffany blue before I encapsulate it. And as soon as as soon as that mattifies and it's not shiny anymore, that's when I know I can go in with my blade and cut it out. And I cut it out to the shape that I like. Take your time with this. Well, not too much time, but take your time to look at all different angles, because once you cut out and you encapsulate it, that's the shape it's gonna take, and it can sometimes be crooked or not even, so you wanna make sure. And I just felt like white would work perfect right here. And I was even thinking of putting the iridescent white on top of the white, the regular white, but then I felt like the plain white just pops, especially towards the end, towards the tip of the nail, it just pops. So it's really your choice what you want to do, but you won't know what colors go with what until you start playing around with it. And I wasn't even going to use the teal. I was going to use Tiffany blue, silver, white, and gray. But then I was like, no, I kind of want to go more towards the blues and the grays and silvers. So we'll see what I do next. But as of right now, this is the tones that I picked for this nail set. So I am encapsulating the nails now, but since you did encapsulate the glitters, you can go and file this clean and flat before you go in with clear to encapsulate. That is your choice. To me, I felt like this was already clean and this was good. So that is why I did it, and it was a mannequin hand, so you know, they're not really gonna complain. But if it was my client, I would definitely take my time, shape it, make them look at it, be like, is there anything that's off? Let me know. But if you're new to this, definitely go in and file, especially if you encapsulate the glitters. Go in and file. See right here, I have a piece of glitter that does not belong where it was at. So I go back, I clean it off, and I add a little bit more of that teal glitter to cover up any mistakes. Wait till that dries and go back to encapsulate. So don't be scared to have to go back and have to clean it off before you encapsulate. That is fine, especially when you do 3D arts encapsulating, or even color. You know, if you feel it's too bulgy, go back, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now I'm gonna use my nail bit that I got from Erica ETA, which is where I get most of my nail bits. And I'm gonna clean off. I love this cone shape one because not only can I clean underneath the nail with this, but I can get very close to the cuticle and clean it off, and it doesn't take like chunky layers of acrylic off. It just cleans off the cuticle and it takes just enough. Now I'm gonna go in with my file, and somebody did ask me where I get my files. I get them from Tony'sNails.com, I think is the name, or Tony Supplies. I'll link it down below, but I get all my files and buffers from there. They are very inexpensive and they give you a ton of them. They are located in Texas, but if you order online on their website, definitely recommend for big types of supplies. Very inexpensive, and you can get a ton of things. I even get my free wipes from there as well. And also, their website is a little funky because when you put things in your cart and you don't buy them that day, the next day they'll probably be gone. So you have to re-put them in. So if you're ready to purchase, I would say put them in your cart and purchase, because it's a headache. But they're worth it. Their prices are very inexpensive. So I'm just filing as clean as I can. If you turn your client's nails or your nails this way and you stare at them from this angle, honestly, you will see a huge difference in your nail shaping. A huge difference. Always turn them around facing you. Trust me, it's gonna change the way you shape nails. It's gonna make everything so easy. Now I'm just spraying some alcohol on my practice hand, and I'm using my brush to clean it off right before I go in with my top coat. You can just go in and wash it. It's usually what I do. I go in and wash it and clean it off. Now I'm gonna use my favorite, the Gel Bottle Extreme Top Coat. It is my favorite top coat, and also E-Nail Couture, and I keep saying that every video, and it'll probably get on your nerves, but it is my favorite top coat. And I'm going to top coat these nails. After I top coat all the nails, I realized I wanted to put crystals. So usually when I put crystals on nails, I don't top coat them. I just clean them with alcohol because I did buff them already. So I clean them with alcohol to dehydrate them. And then I go in with glue, just nail glue. And then I go in with the top coat. But, you know, I decided after I was done, I was like, wait, these look a little plain. Let me add some bling. And that's exactly what I did after I applied the top coat. So for big chunky crystals, I use gummy jelly from Y.E.D Couture, and this is just a very thick consistency gel to adhere anything you want to adhere on there. And what I will be using is I am going to be using a very thick crystal in the middle of the nail, and I did buff it because I always have to buff it before you apply the glue and dehydrate it with alcohol, or else they will not stick to glossy nails. At least the ones I've tried don't. So I put a nice layer to wherever I need the nail, you know, rhinestone or crystal to go, and I pick it up and I put it exactly where I think I'm gonna put it, and I press down as soon as I think I'm done. And when that's ready, if you want to clean up anything else, you can with the cleanup brush. And when that's ready, try not to move and put it right into your UV LED lamp to cure. And I'm gonna be using size 6 clear crystals. I'm also going to be using size 5 clear crystals, and I'm going to be using a mix of opaque white crystals, which are my favorite to use. And I'm going to use Sparkle and Co base and their solidifier, which is basically their activator. So it is, yes, what you use for dip nails. What you use for dip nails is basically glue. If you look at the ingredients, it is glue. So that is what I'm using. I could not get my little glue bottles to open, and I did not want to go through that whole process. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use this glue. And what you do is you just put the dip base on there. You give it a few seconds to dry, and then you would add the solidifier, which is the activator, or spray it on, whatever you choose, and then it'll harden. So you have time to move it around before it hardens. And you just keep going with that. I mean, it is 2 steps basically, because you're adding the glue and then the activator. But it's better than struggling trying to open bottles of glue, I would think, at least for right now. But yeah, you can use many things. Not just because it's labeled as one thing doesn't mean that that's what it's for. And I also use this to do dip nails, and I use regular nail glue to do dip nails. And I have videos of all that down below. How to do dip nails with regular acrylic, how to do dip nails with glue, just a ton of little things. If you guys are interested, you can go ahead and take a peek below. And I just do this to this nail, and I move things around, as well as I decided to add some to the pinky, because that glitter I put on the pinky, well, it's not the pinky, the index finger. I had to look at my hand. The index finger, I wanted that to pop even more, so I added some crystals to that as well. And I was just making sure I put enough activator all over the crystals. Even if you put some on top of the crystals, you can always wipe that clean afterwards. It doesn't affect the crystals. And I'm just top coating them, making sure that there's enough gel in between all the crystals, because that's what's gonna make it last. And yes, this lasts my clients 3 to 4 weeks, even more. They come in and they still have their crystals. So this is the final look. My blue, teal, Tiffany blue nails. I really hope you guys like this video. If there's any color in particular you want to see a nail set of, just let me know. I'll definitely try it out. I like to try to come up with different color tones and ideas that you guys would like to see. I will also have that giveaway that I'm doing once I hit 10K subscribers, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys so much for watching.